Hi, I'm Luke Nguyen and welcome to my masterclass. Today I'm going to do an Italian dish. Now I just come back from Italy. I loved all the pasta, but however there was very little options for gluten-free. That's why today is a very special class using rice fusilli noodles. Using rice flour, no wheat, no gluten. This is a great option for gluten-free people. Now this is from Tao Tao. Now I'm going to make a bolognese sauce, traditional bolognese sauce or ragu using beef mince, pork mince, celery, garlic, carrot, of course tomatoes as well. But I'm going to use an additional secret ingredient that's going to give this dish so much depth of flavor and it's going to lift it up. Now that ingredient is fish sauce. Fish sauce from Vifon. Okay, so we're going to start with traditional beef mince, pork mince. I've got some carrots here, some celery, some onion, of course some tomato, bay leaves, fresh basil, some rosemary, and the secret ingredient, of course, your Vifon fish sauce. Vifon fish sauce gives it more depth of flavor and lift the dish up. Okay, so first of all, I've got some fresh rosemary here. I'm going to take 2 sprigs of rosemary and I'm going to just take the leaves off the stem, just like that. Just rip it off like that. Very easy. Start from the tip, just rip it off here. There you go. Oh, it smells absolutely wonderful. All right, so I'm going to chop that up really, really fine. Put it together. Just chop, chop, slice, 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 slice. So I've got fresh rosemary here. I've got fresh basil as well. And I'm going to chop that up as well. I've got my fresh basil. Take off your basil leaves. I'm going to take all the big leaves off. I'm going to use the little leaves later for some garnish. Fresh, fresh. Now the only dried spices I have here, or herbs, is I've got dried bay leaves. Now the fresh herbs, I've got fresh basil and fresh rosemary. The dried ones, I've got dried bay leaves and dried oregano. I've got some virgin olive oil that goes in. Put around 1.5 tablespoons of the oil goes in. Now I'm going to put in some garlic, some chopped onion or diced onion. Garlic, put a little bit in first, sizzle that up. Probably around 2 cloves of garlic goes in. Okay. Some onion as well, just sweat that out a little bit. This is around a small onion. All right, so I'm just sweating those onions and garlic. Now I'm going to add in my diced carrot. So that's around a small carrot. I've diced that, peeled and diced. That goes in as well. Stir that up. I've also got some celery. So I just want to cook that for around 8 to 10 minutes until all the vegetables are softened through. All right, that's been around 8 minutes now. It's nice and soft. The vegetables have softened down. I'm going to turn the heat up to high, right up to high, because I'm going to put in my mince. I've got beef mince here. I like to use beef and pork. Lots of flavor. You see all the fat through there as well. Fat is flavor. Now you can use just beef if you like, but I'm using half beef, half pork because I love that flavor. Now look at that fat through there. So put it on high. It's looking good, nice color. Give that a stir and just let that brown. Now this is looking good and it's smelling fantastic. Nice color on that mince there. It's ready to go. I'm gonna put some red wine in now, around 100 mils of nice robust red wine. See those big plump tomatoes there? Wow. Now you need around 400 grams of this tomato, so that's 1 tin. That goes in. Just kind of break it up as best you can, and through the hours, or the 1.5 hours that you'll be cooking this, it will break down anyway, slowly. Mix that all in. So we've got red wine in there, we've got the can or tin of tomatoes. I'm going to fill that tin up with a little bit of water as well. Just the whole tin, and then put the water in and just use all that tomato, don't waste it. There you go. It's a good way of cleaning the tin out, not wasting it, but also adding a little bit more liquid to your sauce. All right, that's good. Bring that to heat. Lovely. This is the time you're going to add in your basil, the one you sliced up, your fresh basil. That goes in. Also, your bay leaf or bay leaves and your oregano. Right, stir that in. Bring that to the boil. Oh, that's smelling so fantastic. Now I'm going to season it. Seasoning, very simple. We've got some black pepper, just cracked black pepper goes in. I'm not putting salt in at all. I'm putting the Vifon fish sauce. So I'm going to use around 2 tablespoons of this fish sauce, and that should do it. And 2 tablespoons of that. And of course, if you think it needs a little bit more seasoning later, then put a little bit more in. But right now, that should do the seasoning for this wonderful fusilli bolognese. Okay, that's smelling good. Now, bring it to the boil, lid goes on, and you just leave it there for around an hour and 15 minutes. See how you go. You want to reduce this sauce down and punches of flavor you'll get. I'll come back to that in around an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, now that fish sauce really lifts the dish. You can smell it already. I'm going to add a little bit of chili flakes, so just a pinch, depending on how much spice you like. I like a lot, so another little pinch there. And if you look at this color, it looks good, nice vibrant color, but I want to make it more vibrant, so I'm going to put around a tablespoon or so of this gorgeous tomato paste. Flavor and nice red color. Just mix that in. So that was very, very simple sauce, wasn't it? Tinned tomatoes, carrots, celery, garlic, onion, fresh basil, bay leaves, fish sauce, which is essential. I'm going to let that boil up, and I'm going to put the lid on and put it on a low simmer for around an hour and 15 minutes until that beautiful sauce reduces down and you get a nice, thick, wonderful sauce. I'm going to reduce that down to low and let it simmer. Lid on. Tao Tao rice fusilli, gluten-free, awesome. I feed this to my kids. They absolutely love it. Now, even with normal pasta, once I put it in, I put the lid back just to bring that rapport and then take the lid off and let it cook for around 6 minutes. And now I'm going to transfer some of those beautiful fusilli noodles that's just been cooked, look at that, into the saucepan as well. And just mix that, stir that up, look at that. Nice, beautiful. Alrighty, transfer that onto your plate. Gluten-free rice fusilli noodles, or rice fusilli pasta, I should say. There's some basil leaves that go on top, little basil. Oh, look at those beautiful basil fronds, flowers. Now that is my wonderful rice fusilli with a traditional bolognese sauce using beef and pork, but with that secret ingredient, the Vifon fish sauce.